Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Sam, and in today's video we are going to be doing a story time read aloud. And the book that we're going to be reading today is called Myths and Legends of the World. This book is really good. It's filled with a lot of myths and legends, like it says. And the particular one we're going to be reading today is called Anansi and the Box of Stories. When I was a little kid, I heard of this story, but I'm not sure. It's been a long time. Without further ado, let's get started. Let me just flip to the page. Almost there. Yes. Anansi and the Box of Stories. One clear and beautiful night, when the stars shone like punctures in the fabric of the dark sky, Anansi the spider sat in his web up in a tree. He was enjoying himself immensely, looking down on a group of villagers sitting around a roaring fire. But the villagers didn't seem to be enjoying themselves as much as he. "I'm bored," said one of the villagers, yawning. "There's nothing to do," said another, staring blankly into the distance. "Just another ordinary night around the fire," a woman said, rolling her eyes. "Bored? On a glorious night tonight?" Anansi thought. "How can I help?" Anansi the spider loved a bit of fun and was saddened to see the people so spiritless. Clear as the sky, the perfect solution appeared. Anansi would retrieve the box of stories for them. Then they'd be entertained and delighted. You see, all the world stories were kept locked in a big wooden box by the sky god, Naomi. Famous stories, funny stories, frightening stories. Naomi kept every single story dating back to the beginning of time, so the box contained ancestral tales of any person or animal who had ever lived. The people around the fire would be absolutely delighted. But how could he get that box of stories? Now, Anansi the spider was a trickster of the highest order. He could deceive almost anybody into doing anything. Anansi talked the toad out of eating him more than once. He had conned the centipede out of eight of his most comfortable slippers, and most often he coerced flies into his web by telling them jokes. He even got around by hitching rides on the backs of people, some of the most spiders, fearing creatures of all. Yes, Anansi was clever, but Naomi was a god, too smart to be tricked into giving him that precious box. Still, Anansi loved a challenge as much as he loved a bit of fun. The next morning, Anansi spun a silken thread long and strong enough to lead him up into the sky. Also, if you have this, read along. Where Naomi lived. With the help of the gentle breeze, Anansi arrived at Naomi's heavenly home. Bowing to the god on his 8 little legs, Anansi said, "Great sky god Naomi, what must I do to acquire your box of stories? I want to bring them to the people of Earth to enjoy." Naomi laughed so hard the sky shook. His voice boomed with thunder. "How do you propose to afford my box of stories, little spider? Kings have tried to buy my box, but even the richest were not enough to pay for the price. Great warriors have tried to steal it, but they have never been able to wrestle it from me." Anansi asked again what he must do to get the stories. Naomi thought for a moment. A sneaky smile crept up the corners of his mouth. He said, "Bring me these 4 things. Onini the python, who can swallow a goat whole. Osebo the leopard, with his spear-sharp teeth. Mumbora the hornet, whose sting feels like a red-hot needles. And Moesha the invisible fairy, I believe, with the most terrible temper." Anansi was frightened. Any one of these 4 creatures could easily kill him. He couldn't trick his way through this impossible task. But he still wanted the people to have their stories. "I promise to return with these creatures you desire," he exclaimed with confidence. First up, Onini the python. To try and capture the snake as big as a tree trunk, Anansi went down to the watering hole where Onini drank. My, oh my, Anansi said in a mocking tone while scurrying back and forth along the bank of the watering hole. You're a pretty big python, Onini, but I don't think you're nearly as long as this stick I have here. Anansi feigned a confident posture atop a large stick on the ground. Onini flicked his diamond-shaped head in the direction of the tiny voice who taunted him. Who would dare to say such things to the snake who could swallow a goat whole? The python unfurled his hefty body slowly and deliberately, displaying every colorful scale, and he glided up to the spider. His giant grin bare knife-like fangs. Anansi looked up at Onini and suppressed the shiver running through all 8 of his legs, but he did not flinch. Indeed, I'm every bit as long as your stick, you puny spider. In fact, I'm bigger, Onini the python replied, incredulous. And to prove he was longer than the stick, he lay down next to it, stretching out his body for what seemed like miles to Anansi. No, said Anansi, trying his luck. You're not lying down straight enough. We can't truly measure your impressive length unless I attach it to the stick. Onini reluctantly agreed, and Anansi quickly bound the python with the stick with his web. The massive snake thrashed against the sticky web, which did not budge but came tighter with every moment. You're mine now, Anansi celebrated, and the spider took Onini the python, who could swallow a goat whole, up to Naomi in the sky. Naomi was surprised to see the spider dragging the great Onini on his doorstep. No matter, thought Naomi, let's see him try to catch the leopard. What do you guys think? What do you guys think Anansi is going to do to the leopard? Like this video if you know what Anansi is going to do. And also, make sure to subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Don't worry, there's going to be a part 2 read along. And also, if you have the Myths and Legends book, please make sure to follow along, because in the future I'm going to be doing more stories on my channel. See ya. Peace out.